witness. I remember since I was a small child. I can remember my earliest memories in a crib and wondering who was in the corner up there looking down at me. I actually really wasn't wondering, I just took it for granted that everyone could see that or feel that someone or something was watching the little me, in the sense, like I say, little me, in the sense that I always felt that being up in the corner was, that energy up in the corner was the real me. You know, I grew up with a lot of ideas, self-developed ideas, that I didn't really ask anyone about. I just took them as a given. And it wasn't until later that I found out that everyone didn't feel the same way. Anyway, that presence, that witness, you could think of it as a conscience, sort of, as many of us, those that are not sociopaths, hear a voice in their head, or some presence in their head called a conscience, telling them this is good to do, and this is not so good. Whether or not we choose to listen to, it's entirely up to us. And whether or not we share this with anybody else, it's again up to us. Some would say that a conscience is a consequence of religion and teachers and parents that taught you what is right and wrong. And rather than something that is intrinsically in you, doing the same job. Well, anyway, I learned to listen to this energy, for lack of a better term, and pretty much accepted it as my guide. Then as I got into study esoteric topics and the Theosophists, and again, that means Western spirituality, and later on Eastern spirituality, I really wondered that is that the God? Is that the universe? Is that reality? That's the piece of the spark that's in us all? Is that the voice? I used to ponder it, but I knew it was there, and I accepted its guidance without pause, without a question. I learned early on that the difference between decisions from my mind, brain, and decisions from my heart. If I made a decision, like most of us are told to make a decision, informed, hopefully, thought out, but again, the origin's in the mind, a plan that came out of my mind. Well, I found about when you live long enough, you start to see your patterns, and you start to see what's worked and what's not worked. Maybe you can evaluate these things a little bit better. But I was pretty young when I noticed that the ratio for success or failure, and again, that's arbitrary, because sometimes my greatest successes have turned out to be my worst failures, and the other way around. My worst failures have turned out to be some of the best things that ever happened. Such is the way of life, isn't it? Such is the way of life. But I noticed that decisions, what I call from the heart, were... Decisions is too strong a word, because that implies a mental calculation, impulses, messages, guidance from the heart. Turned out well about 8% of the time, with 20% that seemed to be duds, that seemed to bomb out. But again, it takes time to look back and evaluate what a success is and again what is a failure. But that heart, and I touch here because that's what the physical organ is. But it may reside up here. It may reside in part of the brain. And it's just another aspect of the brain, another aspect. Maybe it's the mind versus the brain. The physical organ is the brain, and what I call heart. Because it was more in the realm of feelings than thinking, closer to following my feelings than thinking. But I didn't really, the early days, I didn't really distinguish too much. I pretty much followed my heart, as I would put it. And a lot of people are really amazed because I didn't share those feelings, and they would wonder what I do next, and where I would be, or where I would go. Yeah, never knew because I didn't share. Because I always had a hard time verbalizing reflections from the heart to vocabulary and words and diatribes. Even I love words, and I fancy myself a little bit of a wordsmith. In fact, I don't care about that. Why did it interrupt me? The blizzards of using a computer, some messages pop up about some app is expired. God, may it rest in peace. Please rest in peace. So, just witness. This is what I started off talking about. Is witness. That presence that I felt since early memories of being in the crib, and something was watching me from the up in the room. It was always up, and I was in a corner, and how I could so much more identify what it was that was this spiritual, this manifestation in a human body. So much more of what was me was up there. That witness. And through the years, I started to really realize it was a silent witness. They really wasn't sharing anything other than observation. It shared the sense of it observing me. That was for sure. It shared that. But much else didn't share. Much else wasn't shared with me. And so it became my silent witness as time rolled by. And at some point in my life, I got what I would call spirit guides. Oh, I get where they come from. I don't know. I never questioned any of this. I never questioned any of this because it is as real as anything else is to me. In fact, much more real. And I had the contrast. My spirit guides one was the court gesture, the fool. And was actually, as I lived with him for years, I actually realized that this was Dhammo, the strict Dhammo. I always connected with Milafo, the happy, the smiling Buddha, but it was Dhammo, with the stern, forbidding presence. With the stern, forbidding presence, that again, he was always smiling inside. And that's pretty much my inspiration for calling this program Zen with a Smile. That and the fact is that I learned not to be too serious about anything. learn to not take myself or my projects or my thoughts or my beliefs or my experiences or anything, my ups and my downs, so seriously. Because I told you before, I was a serious little dude. And I'm learning to lighten up here in the twilight of my life. And I love it. So I had this present, so it became Dhammo. Dhammo was Dhammo from both of them, and they're always here. And I've learned, I know that this guy just doesn't belong to me, or this guy just isn't mine. He's all of ours, and they can be there for each one of us. And of course, our frame of reference, our verbal skills, our experience, our culture would probably make us see them in very different ways. And why too? Well, everything that I've seen in my studies, we live in a world of apparent duality, two-ness. And the duality is about diametrically opposed, about opposites. It's like, I went over here, there's a small little guy. I don't know how tall he is. I've never seen him stand up. He's always somersaulting. Okay? Continually. And then I have a giant talking all the time, never says a word. Hence the silent witness. But I believe, but behind me you see two pictures of me that were gifted to me by a student 15 or 18 years ago. I asked her to come up with something because I've always wanted to have a healing center or do some healing work in a Zen healing center where people could come and heal, psychological, but also physical healing. And I really love these. I don't know how well you can see them, but she captured elements of me that I wasn't even aware of. Again, I took myself seriously, hard to be playful, but here I've got a surfboard. I love the flower lei, the Chinese character on my shirt, the colors. This sweet young girl did all of this. She's 18 years old, and I just said, I want some pictures of me, and this is what she gave me. And I love them. And so again, duality. Apparent duality. But as my talkative little friend and my silent giant, silent witness have helped me to learn is that it's the reconciliation of opposites. It's the putting together of opposites. It's understand that opposites are really the same. Opposites are just part of the same thing. So it's not a dual. It's not duality. It's one presence, it's one energy, it's one. And when you, sorry, I met a few computer glitches. It's when you can reconcile the differences, when you see that, well, they talk about, let's give an example, they talk about free will or destiny. Yes, one or the other, right? Obviously, it can't be free will and destiny. Well, guess what? It really is. It really is. Everything's preordained. Okay. You have a free will, the gift that we were given, to make your own decisions, and you're not trapped into any patterns. Okay. So, okay to destiny, okay to free will. And the mind doesn't blow up It's in that. I mentioned that earlier, probably video number 1, that the Renzai Zen tradition that I was trained in gives a koan. A koan is a puzzle that can't be solved with the mind. And I think this idea that of duality, happy, sad, light, dark, tall, short, fat, thin, it just goes on and on. We categorize friend, enemy, lover. What's the opposite of a lover? I ask you, what's the opposite of a lover? I want to say stranger, but maybe that's not it. That's a tough one, but the others, the others come really quickly. The opposites come really quickly. But it's a reconciliation. How do you put it together and say, predestiny? Got it. Yeah. Free will? Got it. Yeah. How can they both love, hate, night and day? The symbol, I think this is the yin and yang, the symbol of light and dark, good and evil, male and female, the different yin and yang really captures this kind of concept because it integrates it in a whole. It's integrated in a whole, in a circle, is the yin and the yang. And as far as I know, for me, as far as I've been able to ponder, we're talking about the same thing, the reconciliation of diametrically opposed. See, I told you the wordsmith. The reconciliation of diametrically opposed realities, concepts. But it's the balance. It's the balance that's always the key. It's the balance of mind. Kooky little somersaulting. And interestingly, they've been with me forever, and neither has a name. The silent witness has a name, but it's more of a concept than really a name. And I guess if I had to put this guy would be the fool on the hill. So I got the silent witness and the fool on the hill. And it's, interestingly enough, it's synthesis, it's the balance that they have. And I'm learning that noise and silence, they're more of the duality, my own duality right here. It's really one and the same here. And I put my hands up here, I can feel the energy. That's powerful. So, that's the silent witness. It took me a while to recognize the fool on the hill. I thought I was just being silly. But the silent witness, I remember since the time in a crib. And it's a vivid memory of lying in the crib, looking up and seeing and wondering. And no one to ask. I couldn't, who could I ask? I couldn't verbalize. So it's funny that questions without a voice. What do you do with questions without a voice? So, start looking for your guides. We all have them. They're all there. I can see them. No, I can't see them, but I guess I visualize them because I've been able to pretty much explain it to you. But it took years of really being with them and experiencing them to be able to put this in any kind of context that I could share it. But each side, each one, is equally dear to me. My man with no face and no feet, because his scowl, his hood, casts a shadow. And I see, I've never seen his features. Whereas this guy, so he's got secrets, maybe. In disguise, what you see is what you get. But each one you need to look deeper to appreciate them, and to be grateful to have this energy, have this guidance, have these beings. And again, I'm nobody special. You have them too. They're there. Take a look. Okay. I'm moving because I'm going to see you next time.